Hi, and we're back from break. How you guys all doing?
Good.
Just as fine as before.
Still rocking and awesome.
I have one really brief thing that I want to say about BlizzCon, and I promise it's the last thing. The other
Someone
thing
set a
that I want
timer.
to say,
Someone set a timer.
Okay. The last difference between BlizzCon and SOE Live is that I would feel a hell of a lot more comfortable bringing my kid to BlizzCon than I would to SOE Live, because SOE Live is in the middle of Las Vegas, and it's not that it's Vegas, it's that the amount of boobs and butt that are exposed in the hotel that they have it in, which to me isn't a big deal, but I have a 14-year-old, he'll be 15 next year, and while I get that he's already seen it, like, I would prefer that it was a more controlled environment, and it's really not. And BlizzCon is in a convention center. There is no boobs and butt except for the cosplayers. And every single one of the cosplayers were really tasteful when it came to the amount of exposure that they had.
So
And Dig said, and Omi.
I haven't been
Yeah, Omi is not safe for children.
So there's a lot of boobs and butt at SOE Live.
And well, there was booze at BlizzCon as well. All over the floor there was alcohol being served, and it was way more expensive. But at SOE Live, so the hotel that it's held in, Planet Hollywood, downstairs at the Heart Bar, they're not strippers because they leave their clothes on, but they don't really have a whole lot on. And then there's girls that dance on the gaming tables downstairs, like you can stand on the overlook and look down, and there are girls in bras, panties, and thigh-high fishnets and garter belts and high heels.
Yes! Yes!
And
yes! 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 So Flatus is in charge of the soundboard. Just remember that. That is not representative of the EverCast show.
Like hell it's not. Come on, we all know that we thought that at least once. So, yeah!
I do enjoy my time in Vegas. That's all I will say.
But, so I definitely feel more comfortable taking Gavin is my son. He's 14. He'll be 15 in April. I would feel more comfortable taking him to BlizzCon for that one reason alone. So, yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
Ha
Hi.
Hi. Go to SOE Live. You'll get to see, and I said it tastefully because boobs.
You got cut off there a little bit.
Oh well.
People in chat are just like, SOE Live sounds awesome!
This is awesome.
It really is.
So I guess I just plugged SOE Live. If you really want to go see some TNA, that's the place to go.
It's cheaper, too.
And
right? Oh, there is that too. Oh, and I got recognized at BlizzCon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, as EverCast? Like,
yes.
Like, look, guys, we're known. I don't know if you know this, but we're famous.
I actually got recognized by somebody that was an EverQuest 2 player and EverQuest and is really looking forward to Landmark. And while he didn't recognize me until he's like, you do a podcast? I was like, yeah. And he's like, what do you do? And I was like, it's Sony Online Entertainment. And then I kind of mumbled it because I'm like, I'm at BlizzCon, right? Sony Online Entertainment. Right?
Why? Ryan Schuler was all over BlizzCon taking pics, posted it to Twitter.
He
was like, look, guys, look where I'm at.
Yes, he was.
Look at them at the BlizzCon.
So, and he's like, oh, EverCast, you're Kai? And I was like, shit. Yeah, it's me. Hi.
I would have been like, "This me, baby, bring it in."
What was really funny, big, scruffy, freaking motorcycle rider with like the leather freaking vest with the patches all over it.
Did anybody start a timer?
Oh, it must have been a cosplay.
No, it wasn't.
They added the motorcycles to WoW.
Apologies. I will stop talking about BlizzCon.
Motorcycles haven't been in WoW chat.
The motorcycles were there.
Launch.
The motorcycles were there.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted that trick. Like, in real life, I kind of want that trick.
I want the Alliance one, and I don't even play Alliance.
You're so wow heads. Oh my gosh. So, I'm sure
One
we're about
of
to hear
us.
some more about
One
that.
of us.
So while we're on the topic, we're going to go back to our trip down memory lane and our favorite parts of past MMOs, and we're on storyline now. So, Talon, do you want to kind of start off that discussion? Your favorite storyline of an MMO? Now, if all three of you are going to say WoW, you're going to have to nominate someone to speak about WoW. Try and pick something else.
That's what I was
One
thinking.
person pick WoW, and the others.
Dibs on WoW.
You know what? This is going to sound so dumb, but in Vanguard, the introduction diplomacy quest for the gnomes, right? So each race starts in their own city, and they have all their starter quests in their city for all three phases of the game, right? So if you're going to be a diplomat and you're going to be a gnome diplomat, they need to have a gnome diplomacy starting quest, right? And the gnome, it's the diplomacy quest for the starting gnomes is the plot from Terminator. It's like going back, there's the Terminator robot, and like you meet someone who's like says that they've come from the future, and you have to do parlays with them, and it's I mean, that favorite storyline.
That's cool.
And what's funny is that, like, I'm trying to think of all these stories from other MMOs I've played, and that one always comes back. I always remember that one. Like, I tell you right now that the starting quest for diplomacy for the gnomes in Vanguard was the plot to the Terminator.
Good. I don't have a button for that, but I kind of wish I did now.
I've been told I'm good at pushing
I got
buttons.
put on the spot. Who's next?
Huh.
Chewina.
Okay, I'm next. Definitely the EverQuest storyline. Mostly EverQuest 2. It might be just because that was my big hoorah, let's play an MMO from launch until now. But the
Because of
storyline
Kim Possible?
EverQuest 2, yeah, and because of Kim Possible, it was really well layered. They don't have the cinematography of Blizzard or anything to help convey their storyline, but they do a really good job in the way they lay their quests out. They have heritage quests that harken back to the days of EQ1. They have really amazing storylines that take you through the zones and teach you, and a lot of hidden quests that kind of teach the storyline as well. So you'll go in through zones, you'll click pages of books, you can put them together to get a new quest that'll teach you about, oh, here's the Argonauts, or, here's this hero. And one specific quest line is actually in the newer content in the Great Divide. There's these people called, I'm probably gonna get it wrong. They're little rats, and the main leader is like Osh. They might be called the Oshmir. I'm gonna get yelled at in chat because I don't remember this precisely, but they're little animals. And in one of the recent expansions, you're finding out, like, you're seeing what happened to them, and you end up finding them, and they're like zombies, and they're eating themselves, like they became cannibals. It was the craziest thing ever because they're like cute little Furbies almost, and yet they're eating each other in caves. It was a cool storyline. So they do a lot of awesome story delivery in EverQuest 2, even to the point where when they killed off one of the main dragons, it's sort of like a playable movie to where you're taking sidelines, but your character is able to move and watch as you see the dragons fight around you. Active storytelling instead of just a graphic or a cutscene. So that was very cool. So hoorah for EQ2.
Kai.
Why are you making me go next?
I'm a gentleman.
I see. Okay.
I let the ladies go first.
So I'm not just gonna say like blanket across like World of Warcraft has the best storytelling ever, because it's not that. It's like Illidan. I love the storylines around Illidan. He's absolutely my favorite character. My favorite male character. Sylvanas is my favorite female character. I don't care how much of a bitch she is, but I will say that I love those two characters so much, and the storyline that they do give you around those two characters, though they're not like linked at all. Anything around Illidan and anything around Sylvanas, those have to be my absolute favorite stories, and it's Illidan is such this beautiful, epic, sad tragedy that despite the fact that he's a bad guy, you really feel for him.
I can't use it because Shui put rules on this subject, but yes, I agree with you that Illidan's story is really sad, and it's also a very good storyline, and that spawns from EverQuest, or not EverQuest, but sorry, listen, we've been a long night. I had rum, chata, and fireball whiskey, and eggnog earlier. It tasted. Listen, no, it didn't end badly. It tasted like a Christmas cookie. Chad, shut up. Judger.
Welcome to EverCast!
It's just so weird, man. It's so weird.
How do you know until you try it?
Fine, I will try it. When you come up to Orlando for the Real Big Fish concert.
Done.
Oh!
That's on a Tuesday!
I don't care if it's on a Tuesday.
Are you guys really talking about going to a Real Big Fish concert?
We are.
Yeah.
It's
God.
It's like, yeah.
But they're coming, it's Real Big Fish and,
Less than Jake.
Jake.
Yep. Yep, it's gonna be great. Anyways,
You guys are so
I don't even try to keep this. I don't even try to keep the wheels on the train anymore. I'm like, oh, there it goes.
Those two in the back. Chewina and Flatus are going, the wheels and the bus go round and round, round and round.
who's your favorite villain when it comes to an movie?
I didn't even answer the last question!
Let Flatus answer the question.
Oh, wow.
I was, but you made rules against it.
No, talk about WoW. Just give a different storyline.
Alright, no problem. Fine, I'll go with the Arthur storyline, just because I can connect it to Warcraft 3. The Arthur storyline picks up from where Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne ends, and it carries that story. Now, that's when WoW was at its peak of population, peak of when it was massively known around the world. It had, what, at that point, 12, 15 million players within that range worldwide. And the whole Arthur's quest line, I mean, if you take it from Warcraft 3, when he walks into that throne room and he goes to his father, and his father gets off the chair, walks up to him, and and Arthur's brandishes his sword, goes up to his father, hugs him, and stabs him, and leaves him there to die. You can go walk into the undead city, walk up to his throne room, and if you turn down the music and turn up the ambient sounds, you can hear the ghost in that cutscene play, because the ghost of his father, that whole cutscene plays in your headset. That is how well known that scene is, and that carries over. The Arthur's storyline is beautiful and fantastic. It's just as close to my heart as Illidan's storyline is, and I think that the Arthur storyline is fantastic. The cutscene in the raid's a little off, but I still think it's kind of cool because he kind of connects with his father. It's a little wonky on that point, but I think it's cool because we kind of remember that this game spawned from an RTS, and Blizzard and Chris Metzen does a great job, to an extent, for me, to carry that to an extent to carry that lore over. And it's great because they do a real good job of trying to well up emotion in you. And if Kai can well up emotion for a movie, I'm super excited.
Oh God!
I'm really, really, really super excited about that movie. And I'll throw in a little Final Fantasy. The storyline of Final Fantasy is really good as well. They do a real good job of implementing you as the character, as the Warrior of Light. And they do a real good job of that. And the storyline is really cool. It's very intricate. And it continues on in every patch. They keep adding story quests, and it keeps continuing up into the expansion, and they'll move forward from there. So they don't stop writing lore, and they'll continue it on to the expansion and continue what they're doing over there, too.
I kind of want to say the Funcom game that we played a little bit, Tamon. From what I played of it, the story was pretty awesome. The Secret World? The Secret World.
I like that. I come from a different place because to me there's a whole setting that's already pre-established. White Wolf did it in the World of Darkness role-playing game setting, right? And so you have the vampires and the werewolves, and it's basically the secret world, right? And so that all of these supernatural evil forces exist in our world right now, but they're behind a veil secrecy that governments and other supernatural agencies try to keep that from humans for whatever reason. And so it's like, I would say that you're right, that the Secret World is a fantastic storyline for that reason, but at the same time, it's also one that is very familiar to me. And so it's really hard for me to get all up about something that, like, if I've been playing MMOs for 10 years, I've been playing like a World of Darkness or a hidden world type setting for, since I was like 16.
Oh.
And that's not to say... That's not to say it's not good. It's absolutely fantastic, and I love that it pulls from like that. It pulls from the same place that like Buffy pulls from, like that. It's that that here's Sunnyvale High, and then there's all the supernatural stuff that's going on, and you get to be a normal person in a crazy world, and that's I think that because we can relate to that so easily that. Playing those characters, my friends that like role playing, they love role playing in that setting for that reason.
Favorite villain, everybody?
Yeah, I can't think of any that aren't Warcraft, and I don't want to talk about it because
How about the name?
There are none because it's not. I don't have favorite villains. It's like I have favorite encounters, but that's not because of the villain in them.
That's a good point. Well, we could skip that if no one has anything.
Illidan again. Sorry.
What? I missed something.
Illidan. If you make me pick my favorite villain, it's gonna be Illidan. I can't think of another villain that I like enough that I would pick it.
Listen, she's got a point. Van Cleef is my favorite villain, Michael Flatley.
Oh my god.
I get that. Maybe Run.
I have no idea what's going on.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You know what? I would probably have more fun playing like D&D online and seeing some of the Drow villains. But I haven't really. I played D&D online for a little bit, and I didn't like the UI to it, and so I stopped playing before I got any depth into it before. But like being an old school tabletop role player, I bet you like give me a dungeon where I get Drow and mind flayers and stuff like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm probably going to bring that up for Dungeons, because Diablo or DDO did some cool stuff. For me, Mayong Mistmore from EQ2, if I had to pick a villain. He's a kick-ass vampire guy.
Nice. Alright, so fine. Non-World of Warcraft, Malthael. Diablo 3.
Okay, so non-Warcraft, non-Blizzard.
Oh, screw you!
Hey, people like what they like, okay? No,
do I have to do a non-World of Warcraft one? Non-Blizzard one?
I can do this. Listen, I can give you any. Listen, let's see. I can give you any of the primals from Final Fantasy. Let's see, Titan, Shiva. Shiva was just added, and she's the ice primal, and not only does each primal, which is like a god, like that you can summon into the world, they get their own music, and hers is not only beautiful. The storyline up to her thing is fantastic, because she is summoned through a woman who's trying to. I don't want to ruin the story for a lot of people, but it involves love, and it's very beautiful. But you still have to fight her. It's like, so good. It's just so good. Huh. Yeah, they do like the one thing Square tries to do is put a lot of emphasis on if a boss, like everything should get its own little, like Leviathan, like the bosses all get their own music, and if you play a lot of Final Fantasy, those summons throughout the history of the games, Leviathan, Shiva. Ramu, all those like famous iconic like Final Fantasy summons or bosses and stuff like that, Odin, they all get their own music track that's very unique to them. They have instrumentals, and then they all break into like these cool rock songs. It's very awesome.
Legendary brought up PlanetSide 2, Terran Republic being their favorite villain. It's not a game that purposely has a lot of lore written, yet it's one of the strongest other than WoW, faction-oriented games I've seen, like where people literally, have their faction and it will never be changed, and they might not even play the game, but they'll argue with someone over it. And I think for that, it gets an honorable mention from me.
Yeah, because Terran Republic rules all.
Thank you.
Daniel,
Favorite villain? That's the favorite hero, right? Victory is our tradition.
How about
Villains don't win.
How about a favorite non-Blizzard, non-MMO villain? I love the Heartless from Kingdom Hearts.
Yes! Sorry, I was way excited about that.
That was really freaking loud. Damn. All right.
I'm so sorry.
It's cool. It's cool, yo.
Listen, I love Kingdom Hearts so much.
Right?
You ready for the next one?
Hi, Hades, Lord of the Dead.
I hope, since they started using the different I forget the programming.
The stuff.
The stuffs that they started using with like Final Fantasy 13 and everything, that will port it over to PC like they did with Final Fantasy 13, because it looks like Final Fantasy 15 will make it to PC as well. So I'm hoping that Kingdom Hearts 3 will also make it to PC. Square, give PC love because we love you back.
All right, so what's the next question?
Questing and MMOs.
Freaking hate questing.
Screw questing. Questing is old school.
I don't know if there's ever been good questing, yeah.
Nope.
Like, there's never been questing where I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to quest. Age of Conan tried their whole single-player storyline versus world storyline, where you kind of go in and out of the instances, sort of like a pre-SWTOR. I sort of like how they did questing a little bit in that game, but not really.
Yeah, I would have to say Star Wars: The Old Republic, and not
that
because
questing was pretty fun.
Not because of the questing, but because it was a story, and it was great the first time through. But it had no repeat playability, at least for me. And yeah, but as a story, as questing goes, as leveling goes, it was all right. But outside of that, like, man, I don't know. Questing is questing.
I'll say the same thing.
Galaxies.
I was gonna say, Final Fantasy storyline quests. Those are really good. Very, very intricate tale. Continues on. And the Hildebrand side quests, those are hilarious. Like, those are super comedy, written in purposely, so those are just good, light-hearted. I love them.
I like the Tinkerfest quests in EQ2. I thought those had a lot of humor. Those were fun. But still, like, talking about questing in general, it's just a way to deliver storyline, and I would love better ways, I guess, right?
Now, it was mentioned in chat earlier, and I did agree, the Wrathgate quests for Wrath of the Lich King, where you get that cool cutscene for the siege of, what's the name of the Undead City? Quick, Tail and Kailas, I know you know it.
Undercity?
Undercity?
Yeah, Undercity, the siege for Undercity, like where you fought, like where you go in and fight for Undercity and do the Wrathgate thing, and so good.
I'm not the only one like World of Warcraft.
I liked it a point, but at the same point, it was like how the Royal Apothecary Society
was good.
That was a fun game.
What was a fun game?
Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Yeah.
Listen, I did buy it, and I did play a little bit of it, and that game is solid.
It was really fun. But so questing and WoW, like, that's what I hated about questing in general, was the
But you've never played WoW.
I played it for a very small time, like a week. And I just, in other games too, like,
were you doing it with friends?
Like Rift did it. I'd go up to a hub, and there'd be 3 NPCs with 3 quests each that I'd all get at once. Like, obviously, I'm not going to read any of it. It's not interesting to me. It's just like
TLDR.
And I hated that. I absolutely hated that. I could deal with the whole generic walk up to an NPC and get a quest if it meant something. It wasn't like they're giving me 4 quests at once, limit my exposure a little bit. So I did not enjoy that.
I'll say this, and this is coming from the guy who quit WoW. As much as they haven't changed the game in questing, like what we would want from EverQuest Next, WoW has gone through great strides, I would think, to try to avoid the severe old school style of questing, where they're trying to make things a little more interesting, like trying to make the quest a little more fun and interactive.
Right. but they kind of made
it's not. It's still quests. It's still like pick up thing, go do that, turn in. But they are trying to make it so it's like, oh, it's a little more intricate, it's a little more interactive, it's a little like they're trying. It's an old game, and they're trying to change the systems. Yeah. So
and that's one of the things that I dislike about it is because you're right, they do make it a little bit more interactive, and so that now you've got NPCs that are like running along with you as like, oh, help me get to this place or help me find this person, so maybe it makes it sound a little bit more interesting, but at the same time it makes it even more ridiculous when you do it a second time on like another character, because it's like, oh hey, you know what, I know what you need like you're trying to brew some beer and you need these hops, even though I've done it on my other character and you've already brewed the beer and now I get to do it again. And so it tries to make it like a story through a zone type thing, and that's great. It makes it interesting until you do it a second time.
That's where I think WoW needs a system where it's like, oh, you already have one character up at max. Here is like what EverQuest 2 does, where it gives you a bonus to leveling. What is it, Chewy? Like it's an extra 25% or 50% to XP gain for every character.
Yeah, they have a lot of different bonuses you can get, but yeah.
But it's like if you get a character to max level, then any character you level after that,
it does. It
gets
has
like
an inherent bonus.
An inherent bonus, which I think is needed so you can kind of get your character up a little quicker and not have to waste your time. Like that way, it doesn't help the questing part of it, but at least it puts a small band-aid over having to drudge through as much content. I don't know, something about Chewy's mic.
No,
they're blaming me for
dogs
because it sounds terrible. I don't. They want to burn my headset in a fire, but it's
with you attached,
headset. Or it's not. There's no mic on my headset, so we're just gonna.
I love that. Mic, like, in case you listen, little
this
fun.
Is my Bluetooth device right here.
1996 gold.
Oh, right. PvP is our next topic.
No.
Something to talk about story.
Yeah. Questing and here. Sorry, they could hear me. You couldn't. But the most ridiculous thing is that, and that I want MMOs to get away from it, is that, and Warcraft is the biggest. They're the biggest. They do it worse than anybody else, and there is the game of getting from low level to top level, and then there's the game at top level, and if you're not at top level, you don't get to do any of that stuff there, and you're basically playing by yourself. And so there's, like I said, there's this whole ridiculousness of the questing system, because it's all about like the journey of getting from low level to high level. But I want to get away from that. There needs to be a reason to not like rush to max level. And if you're not at max level, you're not able to play any of the content that other people are playing. And like, that's where we get into that whole conversation about like the sandbox versus the theme park, and that there's you must be this level to ride this ride type theme park. I think that those are, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I think it's a boring, convoluted way of doing it. There needs to be some sort of character progression system where you're journeying with your character and expanding what it is, but not the questing way.
Canlin. May I interject?
Sure.
No, because you still have to quest in that game. Like, just because you leveled one character doesn't mean you don't have to go through the story again, but you do have to pick up then you just have to go back and do other quests, like little side quests and stuff, and do like all the other things. But let me not get into that. Would you like to see something like the Paragon system from Diablo come in, where you can grant levels to, like, let's say you're like, oh, okay, you max out this character, you start doing dungeons. You can't level anymore, but you keep a leveling, like you don't level past like whatever the level is, like let's say 90 at this current point until Warlords come out. You hit 90, but you can still gain like leveling. You keep doing dungeons and raids and stuff. You can keep getting experience, but it'll be like a Paragon system, and then you can just donate levels to another character to offset the damage of having to go through and having to level. And then you're like, boom, done. Then you can like, I have my main character, and then I can just grant levels to this other character based on the actions of my first.
And that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to EverQuest Next. One of the reasons I'm looking forward to EverQuest Next is because I don't want to have to level alts. And so EverQuest Next is saying if you've got one character, that's all the characters you need, because you can, whatever all whatever class you want to equip, if you go and find it, you can equip it, and that's what I want. So I don't ever have to feel like, okay, I've got this character and it's progressed this far, but I need to do this other character because of these other role reasons, or because my group needs me to be one of these instead of one of those, and so now I have to go and level one of these up. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to a more classless system, like EverQuest Next is saying, where it's like, I have, I'm a paladin. I've got my sword and my shield, but I also have some cleric in me. So that all of a sudden, I don't have to use my paladin abilities. I can go using my cleric abilities, and I've gone from. And I'm not saying one way or the other that EverQuest Next is going to be like that, but I can go from being like a tank class to a heal class without trying to level something. Or, I mean, it's kind of like switching specs and stuff, but at the same time, it's all one character.
Yeah. And Dig said, more importantly, in EverQuest Next, quests don't repeat.
Yes. And that goes to my other point that I'm really looking forward to EverQuest Next, is that if like the characters are doing their quests, and I'm using the bunny ears, the quests in quotation in EverQuest Next, they're not like repeating the same quest over and over. There's just a NPC that they run across that has something that they would like to have done, and you go out and do it, and it changes the world. Maybe just a tiny bit, but it does change it.
I kind of share a little bit of criticism with Michael Flatley with it, that EQN is really ambitious. It sort of worries me that even though it might not be a repetition of the exact same quests, like how similar are they going to be? Like how similar when I get an event is it going to be to something else? Is it really going to be a repetition of a lot of different, or a fine set of quests that are just done within a different narrative or different story depending on the time? It worries me a little bit about that, but we haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Yep. I don't know. I'm afraid it may. My fear is that it'll be like the Rift thing, where it's like, oh, they're all different, but they're all kind of the same.
But they're all kind of the same.
Right, and that's exactly what I was just thinking about. Is the Rift? The Rift, right? They had their dynamic system, but after a while, you realize, well, this is just it's repeating the same thing over and over. There's not really a whole lot of different to them. But that's the ambition of the story bricks. That's what they're hoping for.
Definitely.
I don't know what's going on with Michael Flatley, but I don't know what type of quest he's doing, but it involves a grandma and grandpa.
Oh, hey.
Maybe Grandpa asked me to grab his dentures.
And one other thing is that, like, I don't want to get into quests in any type of game where, like, I lend myself to role playing very easily. I'm a role player at heart, and so there are some things that my character has been asked to do by quest givers that character would never do as a role player. And it's not just Warcraft, because in Vanguard there was one quest where you ground up a human into human meal. You put them through the meal, and that was, you turned it in as a quest, and you could do it on any class. Your cleric, your paladin, whatever. It's all good. And
a paladin or a cleric grinding up people?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, and it was a block to like a quest chain, right? And so like if you wanted to go any further on this quest chain, or I think it was to get a gear set, to get all of the quests done for this full set of gear, this was one of the things that you had to do. And Warcraft has done a couple of those things to me too, like the poop quests, the hand over the love letter quests, the get so drunk that you black out quests. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of these, but I have to because it's a content block. If I don't, I can't go any further.
There's an achievement, and I know this because I saw a video of it. There's an achievement for clicking on the outhouse inside your garrison called I kid you not. There's I think a poop quest in the first starting quest of Warlords of Draenor. There is a dude like cleaning out an outhouse. I don't think you actually it's just a poop reference. I think more than a poop quest.
The game is literally shit.
No, it's just WoW likes to poke fun of itself and has tropes.
Yeah, a lot of people dislike that though, right? Because it's supposed to be such an immersive story, but then they have so many out of world NPCs or quests. Or
it's essentially like every like Mr. Pandaria had the. Oh, we're gonna use the poop from this outhouse to make grenades, and you're gonna use the stink grenades to blow people up. And I was like, every expansion has a poop smith. some sort of poop smith.
I wonder if it's the same dev that writes the poop content across the
I'm pretty sure it's like it's every time that one dude is like, Dave, did you get that quest? And you're like, sure did. He's like, I'm in a poop joke again. They're like in the meeting, they play through it like, God damn it, we can't fire Dave because he does a good job, but damn these poop quests.
Right? He's the guy who walks in and purposely farts in the office and then walks away.
Yeah, he crops. That's the one dude that crops dust every. Oh my! This is what we turned into. Why did you let us get this far?
Is it my job? Is it?
I think we should have collective responsibility. There's a couple other topics that we wanted to hit. We have 14 minutes left. PvP, our favorite moments in PvP. Do you guys want to cover that a little bit? I'm sure, Callum, you're big into WoW PvP, right?
Yeah, and it's not okay. So disregard that it's Warcraft, but their interface for their PvP system is super slick, and it at times it's a little overwhelming. And if you are, there's the good players and then there's the average players, and the good players stomp on average players on a regular basis. But when it just comes down to like your rating and the gearing up system, I really like Warcraft. And then as a spectator, I really enjoy watching it. But the jury is still out if I enjoy it because I understand it and I like it, or if I looked at it fresh, that I would be like, this is garbage. I wouldn't watch this at all. I don't know whether or not my own biases just push me so far in favor of it.
My favorite PvP? Not World of Warcraft. I love StarCraft 2. I'm not good at it. I suck at it. But I have so much fun playing it. I have a ton of fun watching it.
You would have laughed.
It is cool. Oh yeah, you'd have laughed this weekend when we all played.
I'm sorry, I was at BlizzCon!
I'm gonna put the hammer down and say MMO. Favorite PvP in an MMO.
Fine! World of Warcraft.
I think Guild Wars 2 is also a lot of fun. I love that the fact that you that when you go and you do the competitive, their structured PvP, you're automatically boosted to max level, and you have a full set of gear that is, you can tailor it to whatever type of build you're going for. Because Guild Wars 2, they want you, if you want to be in the competitive PvP scene, they don't want, like I was just saying, they don't want to force you into the leveling part of it. They're like, oh, you want a PvP? Well, jump in right over here. And
yeah,
bam,
but Guild Wars 2 had major problems apart from Guild Wars 1. Like Guild Wars 1 tournaments and competitions were very competitive and very kind of well balanced out. And Guild Wars 2 kind of had a problem getting started. I don't know if that's just the way they changed the combat system or
no,
because a lot of things probably.
They promised a spectator mode and then launched without one.
Well, bastards.
Yeah.
Me, Daok, open world PvP. I played that a lot with my friend back in the day. I really enjoyed it. And I played a little Darkfall. I didn't really get into it, but I like the idea of open world PvP games. In the beginning days of Rift, I really enjoyed it until it became kind of just a gank fest. Age of Conan, like my guild, we got together and we just march as a giant guild into a zone and just murder everything around it until people like knew our renown and they wouldn't fuck with us anymore, kind of deal. So I love the ability to not just kill NPCs in an environment, but have to have a consequence of worrying about murder and things like that too. Of course, I hate pure gank fests, but I like the idea of open world PvP. So, Daok, I really enjoyed it. ESO, I played a little bit of it.
Dude, favorite, not your top favorite.
True.
Pick freaking one.
ESO is like Daok redone, but Daok is so there we go. Done.
Wow.
Everyone, one. Chewie's like, all right, good, because I got a list.
Going down. All right.
Yeah, WoW. It's gonna have to be WoW, and I think more so because when Wrath had been released, they had added a fun little achievement that you can do and got you a mount as well called For the Horde, for the Alliance, where you go and kill the leaders of all the other factions main area, so you had to go to the city and go kill the main leader for all the other factions, and you got a cool mount. And I talked about this earlier with Tamlin and Crayola Kitty in the Helsing Army TeamSpeak about we had 40 people, which is the maximum raid size, and then we had another 20 people who all had the bear already, and we rolled like 8 o'clock full server capacity on the server we were on into these cities, and we just stomped them in. Like they knew the horde meant business that day. We rolled in and we all got the bear. And they knew it, and we all went to Shattereth, and we all just sat down. Or not Shattereth, Dalaran, and we just all lined up in front of the Alliance section of Dalaran with all of our bears.
With your bears. Nice.
Bears, and just took a big old photo, and the Alliance were just like, they knew, they were just like, these guys suck.
That's awesome, though, and that's something you don't get from a PvE game. Like, I know a lot of people argue against open world PvP, but that sense of camaraderie and having that achievement to where there's a winner and a loser a little bit, both sides sort of remember the event. Like in PlanetSide 2, I can remember, oh, this battle or that battle. In WoW or Rift, we had our guilds who were kind of our arch nemesis, and we'd fight back and forth. There's content there that isn't delivered in a PvE environment.
Best fights ever was against the Enclave, and as much as I hated them, damn, it was so much fun.
But here's the like, I love open world combat, but like if you're on a big RP PvP server and you try to do for the horde and the factions are even just a slightly balanced, what you end up is the server crashing because you get overloaded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I stopped. Like those raids were fun up until it got to a certain point, and then after a while, it's just like people would try to get up the people to go do it, and I'm like, no, because you're gonna either do it on a server where the population is imbalanced and the other side doesn't really stand a chance, or you'll do it where the other server can actually fight back, and you'll just crash the server because it can't handle that many people. And you know what? I'm going to tweet out some videos because some of my friends did some YouTube videos of what it was like in those lag fests.
Yep.
I mean,
you needed a strong PC.
Like that for me too.
And somebody mentioned it in chat that I caught walking along, or as I was reading along. EVE Online does open world mass PvP better than any game because because that's what the game is. It's an open world PvP. That's where their bread and butter is. And like, I can't play EVE. I've tried multiple times, but I love reading about it. And when I sit down to watch a battle, I'm like, ooh, where's the capital ship? Is the capital ship going to go down? Is the capital ship going to go down? And it's like, boom! Oh, I got it! Yeah!
It is kind of like watching a cool space battle go up. It's like, oh, this is fun. It is.
Diplomacy and things between the companies, it's intense. It's really fun.
Right. And people, like, I follow a couple EVE Twitter handles, right? And they'll tweet out that, like, a massive battle is going down and they're streaming it on Twitch. I'm like, oh, give me to that battle. I can't wait.
Hey, I don't want to be the guy. Won't be the guy. We still have crafting, community, and economy to get through.
Crafting is Vanguard.
All right.
Crafting Vanguard, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll go with Tale in the Desert. You guys ever play that? Tale in the Desert? It was a pure PvE MMO where you basically like build your little city in Egypt and you farm and you raise and you trade with other players and stuff. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, was that on Facebook?
No, it is not. Wow. That's the chat. There's gotta be people in chat that know how hardcore a Tale in the Desert is, not the opposite. It is not farm.
Hold on, let me Google that.
There's gonna be one dude out there who's like,
Start Googling a Tale in the Desert.
Kailas, as I Google Tale in the Desert.
Never heard of a Tale of the Desert. Oh, there we go. We got pictures.
Vanguard.
It's an old game.
Old to you.
It's oldish. It is pretty old. Fit Orion says crafting. I heard Second Life had a great crafting system. If you can consider, if we're taking crafting out of like an well, no, it's still economy based. I agree. I don't know.
You know what?
Sort of the crafting system, right?
I take Vanguard back, and I say Galaxies.
What?
Star Wars Galaxies.
They had a crafting system?
Yes, they did.
Never
Yep. Best
Never got
crafting
around to
system
it.
ever.
It's
so old. It was made in 2003.
You're talking Star Wars Galaxies, not the Old Republic. My bad. Yeah.
Right?
No, I've heard so many great. I didn't play Star Wars Galaxies, but I've heard so much great things about their crafting system that it's hard for me to say one way or the other. But you're right. It is probably up there with the best.
And Tor also has a crafting system, and I use it.
Yeah, but it's the same as every other one.
It's pretty much World of Warcraft.
Right, and that's why I kind of made the joke of
Rift suck too.
Yeah, Rift, Warcraft, all of those point and click type systems. It's just like it's not really a crafting system. I mean, they call it a crafting system, but it's not really. It has no meat to it. It is a means to an end, and
yeah, it's a way to get to end game. It's grind. Nothing really matters as long as you grind to the end, where it matters, right?
See, like in Warcraft, the only reason that crafting mattered in Warcraft is for that extra 2% of damage that you could do based upon what crafting profession you had. Like if you could get those extra slots, because the like maybe they dropped, like there would be an item that you could use, but it just, to me, it never felt like it's something that I wanted to do. It was something that I had to do in order to min-max my character. And that's why I say that Vanguard, probably the best. Because if you wanted to have a house in Vanguard, you talk to a crafter. If you wanted to have in Vanguard, you had to talk to a crafter and a diplomat. And those were like... That meant being a crafter meant something, because you could also max your crafting level without ever having to adventure, but that's another subject.
Pikachu had an interesting crafting system.
I heard all about it.
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about it a lot, but especially in the beginning, it was very complex. Like, it was Vanguard level complex in the beginning. You needed like 100 different materials, and you had to put them all together, and you could fail at it completely, or it wouldn't be pristine enough to make the next level item. It was very difficult.
And the forge would kill you.
And the forge would kill you. Yep. Can't get any more consequence of crafting there.
Yeah. I like the crafting systems where the consequence is failing or making an item that isn't like you gave your best effort and you got a B on it. Not an A, it's a B.
Oh well, then Final Fantasy 14.
You know what?
Because you could every crafting class or disciple of the hand, disciple of the land, whatever all the disciples, you level them up to 50. They have their own questing system that they do. They go out into the world and gather and everything, and you have chances of making bad items. Like they have like superb, lesser, and all that, and you have a chance of making a crap item.
Now when that randomness
and the randomness, it also affects like certain like quests and stuff like that, because you can get bonus XP for making a better item.
Right, but when you're making those items, right, and sometimes it's like pristine and sometimes it's a crap item, is that a random factor of the game, or is that a factor in the game that you control as the crafter?
I am not super duper deep into crafting. I would say Crayola, if she was here, could probably answer that a little bit better.
Go drag her out from her channel into this one.
Yeah, she's up in that channel.
Is she?
She said no, guys, don't do that.
Yeah, she's not even... Oh, no, she's in chat. Crayola Kitty, I know you're like 30 seconds behind, but you want to pop in and say something, you say something. But we'll keep moving. We'll get an answer from her, hopefully, if she's not sleeping.
No, and... Yeah, I love those crafting systems where the crafter themselves has control over the randomness of whether it's like a good material or bad material to a certain extent. Obviously, there needs to be a little RNG in there, but I love the I sit down and I'm going to craft something and this is the way I'm going to try to make it type decision making in crafting.
Actually, is it Fitorian? Fitorian, I think the Final Fantasy XI crafting system it's probably a little on par the same with the Final Fantasy 14 system. You could actually lose those materials. So, it's the same thing, like you can lose those or make a basic item or make a +1 item. So, you have a chance of just botching the whole thing and be like, well, that's my stuff. My stuff is gone now.
Yeah.
I have to go get more stuff. I screwed up.
Even being a max level crafter in Vanguard, right? Somebody would hand you that ultra rare material that they had, and it was like hours worth of harvesting looking for that one ultra rare material, and they have it, they give it to you, and they're like, could you make this item for me? And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I got this, and I love that element of crafting.
Because you have to kill the primals to get, like, they drop like a claw or so, like a special item off of them, and you can use it to desynth to help make your Ultima weapon. And you have it when you desynthesize their item. You have a chance of failing that. And I saw somebody on YouTube fail, like it was Mr. Happy, who does like a lot of like Final Fantasy stuff, and he failed. He got it, like he rolled at 99, he got the item. He's like, and he had like what was it, 95% chance. He's like, oh, that's fine, it's pretty high.
And he still failed.
Failed it. And he was pissed because the drop rate on those items is low.
One thing that no one brought up with crafting, I lost the word, experimentation. Not having recipes, but putting together items and seeing what comes with it. EQ had that along with the recipes. You can just put items together and learn the recipe by making the item. And then H1Z1 is doing something very similar to where you kind of go with whatever you have and try and make something. I think those are cool systems as well.
Right. Vanguard had one, but it was kind of unintentional. But it was because they you had your item and you were making it, and you could add a dust or a crystal to it to augment the power that it had. And the crystal, when you had it, the tooltip would say like you can use it on this item, or this item, and sometimes those were wrong. So every once in a while you'd get this dust and you'd be like, well, let's see if I can add it to this, and you're like, well, help me, I can.
So are we going to save these topics for the next show? Or
I say if we can get
some big chunks, don't we?
I think if we can make our answers concise, Chewie, then we can.
I'm not the one rambling about WoW for an hour. Okay?
Hey!
Right. Okay, at least I'm picking other games.
Yeah, Tales of the Desert. You
play Project Gorgon, man. What are you talking about? If you can't love indie MMOs, then
When's the last time anybody heard eGenesis? The publisher of Tales of the Desert.
Anyways.
Alright, I'll leave it up to Kai and Tanlin.
What? Did I miss something there?
Wow! Shuina just called Vlad as an asshole! Listen. If there's anybody that's an asshole on this show...
No, it's fine. He calls him as he sees them.
Totally me! It's totally me.
You've got to... You swear more than any of us.
No shit. I'm personally starving to death. I have not eaten today, but if we can make our answers concise,
right? And I want to come back next week and probably talk a little bit more about Landmark, because I'm really excited about seeing the that patch. More weapons, more than just those base 3 weapons. I can't wait to get my hands on them. Give me a shield.
Yeah,
so is that shield. I'm a little confused. Are we going for it, or are we not going for it?
No, I need to get...
Alright. Well, you heard it, folks. We're going to get on the air now.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, this has been
Sorry.
Yeah. Listen, some of us...
Most awkward ending to show ever.
That's because of you.
Because I was talking about an indie MMO that you can't appreciate.
I have to go download it and play it and be like, what the hell is this?
I encourage everyone. Now it's my time to plug. Gladys plugs like 3 games every show where he's like, you gotta go play this. It is it. Or go buy it. Download A Tale in the Desert. Give it a try.
Well, fine, as long as we're plugging it.
You can subscribe to it for $11.95 a month.
Okay, go play World of Warcraft, Shuina.
Oh, that's right! Before we leave. Oh, that's right. He's been challenged. I'm calling it
I have been challenged to play WoW.
Yep.
I am calling him out. If he wants to bash on World of Warcraft, it's absolutely acceptable to me. But he has to play.
Oh, I like this game.
I like this
Yep.
game too. I have
if I
zero
play
problems
it,
with
you
him
guys
not
have-
liking the game.
That's what I was just thinking.
Dude,
So
you
we go-
made me play EverQuest 2.
So here we
So
go.
stick it.
What's wrong with EverQuest 2?
It was
What is
awful.
with EverQuest 2? I love it. I think it's
Awful.
an awesome game.
No, let's go counterclockwise, right? So Kai challenged Trina to play Warcraft. Trina challenged Flatus to play But that means that you get to challenge me to play an MMO, and I get to challenge Kairos to play an MMO. Eh?
I don't hate you. Listen, I like you, man. We can play whatever you want. I don't care.
Oh, come on, have a little bit of fun with it.
So hold on.
That's
Wait,
all
wait.
baby.
For Chuina, I have played for Chuina at Chuina's request. I have played EverQuest 2.
Oh no, there's a list.
I have played that one game with all of the gods. What was that called again?
Smite was awesome.
I played Smite for him, and then I the Vanu
PlanetSide 2.
So you know what? I'm asking him for one stupid game, and if
And
he
I
hates
know
it,
Wait, you know what?
Wait,
You know what the best part is? The best part is that she's not only asking Chewie to play World of Warcraft, she is also buying him World of Warcraft. Like,
Yeah.
she is fronting the money, like all the everything
I
is
am
coming from her
paying
for him.
a 2-month subscription for him. He just has to commit to play. Now he doesn't have to play every day for 2 months. But he is getting a 2-month subscription, which means he's also getting a mount out of it. He's going through Refer a Friend. So
I never said I wasn't gonna play. I don't know what you guys are arguing about.
how long ago
No,
did I send you
we're
the
just-
invite? How long
We're
ago
just
did I send you
making
the
sure
invite?
you do.
I already played. I installed a Battle.net account for Tamlin and Flatus this weekend. I played StarCraft with them for the first time ever. Like, if you ask me to play a game, I'll play it if I have the money to buy it. And in the case of WoW, I will play it.
You don't have to buy the expansion. You can play without the
I
new
have the free
expansion.
trial.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm dubbing this a noob's quest.
Okay, so what? So Tanlin gets to challenge me, and
No. Flatus has to challenge
Gladys
me
gets
first.
to challenge Tanlin. Is that how it's working?
All right, I guess. I mean, we've already talked about Tamlin, but he doesn't have the time right now. But it's Final Fantasy 14.
I'll make time. I'll make time if Trina makes time to play Warcraft. I'll make time to play Final Fantasy.
I can promise an hour a week. This is going to be a long-term noobs quest for us, all right?
Mr. Hoity-toity just is
15
like,
months
man.
later.
No, that's not too bad.
No, that's fair. Okay, so Tanlin.
Well, poop.
Wow, poof.
I don't have to have Flatus play Tail in the Desert either. It's an awful game. All I'm just saying is the crowd is cool. I'm going to actually pick a game that so we can think about this. We don't have to challenge each other.
No, we should do it on the show because there's been throwdowns to two people. So
why don't we discuss it after show and then bring it next week? We're already
okay, all right. That's fair.
We were let's not do the rest of the show, but we'll sit there and BS about what challenges for other MMOs.
Right? I like this game.
Oh my god, Happy Hands put Eve on mine. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I may murder myself.
I don't know if I could do that.
I have had to play Eve. I have played Eve.
Michael Flatley's like, I wouldn't wish Eve on my worst enemy. I was gonna say if Chewie's like, you gotta play Eve, I'm like, I think that at that point Chewie just hates me.
I want to be into Eve so bad, and I've tried, but every time it's just like I can't.
This is fantastic. All right, listen, if we don't get end the show, we'll just keep talking.
An hour later. I mean, we keep talking after the show anyways.
Yeah.
It's just people are seeing that, I guess, for the first time.
Oh god.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
True story.
There's a whole other show after the show ends, and it's just for us, and no one can see it.
No! They remember 2 weeks ago they heard the end of it because remember I didn't turn off the stream. turn the stream off on time and we're going on it still. That was awesome.
That was
It
good.
happens. All right.
So
This was Dix is look at Dix. Dix is like this is the most entertaining. Look at you, Mr. Captain Hotshot in chat. You come sit up here and do this 2 hours every week.
You that we just need to banter back and forth between the four of us, and people will be happy.
You
That's why
come do
people
this.
watch Fox News.
It'll drive Tamlin crazy though, because Tamlin will be like, but we have to have a topic. We have to have talking points.
Is there a Kim Kardashian MMO? Make Flatus play that.
There is a game, but it's not a.
Oh God!
But it's not.
How
I
does
know.
he know?
I know games.
Okay. Hold up.
That's like when you go to the weird part of the internet.
Camping. Shouldn't we camp?
The Kim Kardashian game makes
Kardashian game in the chat for everybody.
it makes tons of money. It makes tons of money. Tons.
I believe it does. It probably makes a lot of money. Well, thank you all for tuning in to EverCast. Who wants to camp us out tonight?
Can we agree on anything?
Tamlin should do it.
Alright, I'll do it.
You camp out, sir.
Alright. Camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good night.